Hello everyone, and welcome back to Demon Souls. It's been a few weeks. Haven't quite had the time or energy in order to do this, but I'm back, and hopefully we'll have this done within the next couple weeks. So, in the interim, I went ahead and upgraded my Dragon Longsword to +5. I went back to that fiery lava swamp and grabbed the items that were in it, which were some Dragonstone chunks and a piece of pure Dragonstone, and that allowed me to go all the way to +5 with this. I also have my standard longsword at +9. I also invested in a claymore and upgraded it to level 7. And finally, I took my Morning Star up to level 8, because that will come in handy in the Shrine Storms against those skeletons we'll be facing off with tonight. And, I pretty much made most of the Crystal Lizards extinct in this area and in Boletaria from all this material running. I even have one basic material also at 99 with Stockpile Thomas, and I cannot put any more, so I have to either keep them on me or just discard them, and so I just throw them away. Okay, I also spoke last time how the demon Flameworker, I think, is just a pure demon, as he has no lore or any superstition or beliefs of the area based around him, but and Ed here is pretty much going to give us the closest thing we have to any information on him, and it's not even about him, it's about his soul. And since I haven't spoken to him since I recorded that video, I'm going to go ahead and give him this searing demon soul, and let's hear what he has to say.
What be your need?
Gonna have to go through some of this
If it
dialogue.
be a blacksmith, then show me your steel. Demon souls. They're like powerful spirits. Some can even bless weapons. But doing so requires a powerful flame, invigorated by a demon soul of scorching heat. I told you that I'm busy. Each ore has a grade. Mighty weapons can only be blessed by ores of high grade. The highest grade of all is a pure ore that shines in utter brilliance. A spirit force that delights the eyes. Don't waste my time.
Kinda have to cycle his dialogue, because he should ask for it immediately.
Yes, that's the
See?
one. A searing demon soul. With it I can forge new breeds of weapon. Bring me your most powerful souls.
Give it over to him, because it literally has no other use. You can't turn it to magic, you can't turn it into a weapon, or a miracle, anything.
A wise choice. You've done well to put your trust in the great blacksmith, Ed. Bring me a demon soul, and I shall use it to bless your weapon. Don't waste my time.
Yeah, probably not gonna do that, given the boss soul weapon creation in this game is kind of clunky. It's almost identical in the original Dark Souls 1, in that you have to upgrade certain weapons to certain levels, like a straight sword to +7, have the proper demon soul and enough souls, hand them all over to him, and he'll combine them in order to give them to you. The boss weapons are neat, but they're kinda not worth all the effort if I don't intend to really use them. And like I said, I upgrade a bunch of other weapons at this point. that I will use for sure. So, yeah. Likely not going to engage with that, unfortunately. And it's been a while since we talked to any of these people over on this side, so let's give them a listen. I mean, haven't spoken to either of them once, so...
My grandfather had unusual tastes. He often visited Stonefang Mine, where he collected rocks of all shapes and sizes. Most of them had no value, but among them, he found a miracle stone shard, which he gave to me. Could this, too, be a sign from God? But among them, could this, too?
Oh, you must be another disciple of God.
Not
I
really.
too am on a quest to fight the demons in the name of the Lord. May I share God's power with you? Do not be bashful. We are both cut from the same cloth.
Not really.
A miracle is a heavenly act, but spells are the acts of demons, the work of soul arts. They have similar effects, and yet one is clearly evil, and the other is clearly good.
Based
Magicians,
on?
in the end, are mere servants of the demons. Do you know Saint Urbain? His piety is true. His ears are tuned to the voice of God. But that faint-hearted disciple over there claims that he has fallen in a trap somewhere in the shrine. I hate to think that such misfortune could have befallen so eminent a man. I intend to leave shortly to rescue Saint Urbain. God has ordered it done, and I am his disciple. I am afraid we may not meet again. I intend to leave shortly. God has I am afraid.
And let's look at his miracles. Hidden Soul. A new miracle discovered in Boletaria. Subdues the caster's essence, reducing the chance of detection by black phantoms. The perilous black phantoms that wander the lands of Boletaria are enemies of God and man alike. Evacuate. A new miracle discovered in Boletaria. Transports the caster back to the Nexus. The Nexus lures and imprisons the most powerful souls. And this miracle works by manipulating this phenomenon. Heal. Elementary miracle. Restores the caster's HP. A succulent display of God's power. A great friend to warrior clerics who have departed on long journeys of solitude. Antidote. Elementary miracle. Cures poison. Nothing to learn from him, because I'm not going to be doing any miracles.
I see. You wish to train yourself in stoicism. Very well. I pray we meet again.
In the original version on PS3, I did upgrade my faith to the minimum to learn Evacuate, so I could farm the lizard men in Stonefang, so I could grind for materials to upgrade my sword. And it because going back to Archstone every time was a lot more extra time, especially with all the loading that is not present in this one. So yeah. It was kind of a pain. Thankfully this version is a lot better about that.
I have sinned. I swore allegiance to Saint Urbain, but was of no use to him. And now I have run away and abandoned his augustness. O Lord, punish me, for I have not the strength to punish myself. O august one, I hesitate to imagine your present state. Deep within the darkness, where no light shall ever shine, will you continue to pray, even in such misery?
I swear that I will catch that blasted hyena someday soon.
He fooled me and kicked his augustness down a hole behind the altar of a shrine. But I I lost my nerve and very swiftly fled the place.
I swear.
He thought I lost my nerve and very swiftly fled the place.
Yeah, this entire side of the room would be great in the game Blasphemous. Oh, you should all go visit Custodia. I think they'd really enjoy you. And speaking of that blasted hyena, Patches has joined the Nexus. Hey.
Well, I remember you. Well, I'm glad you're here. I found some really tasty trinkets. Well, we've long been acquainted, so I'll give you a good price, eh? Nothing here is stolen, I swear. I no longer partake of the whole corpse robbing thing. Yes, I'm completely free from vice. My old mother would be proud indeed. Aren't you proud of me too? You see that priest and his disciples over there? Liars. They've blown that incident at the shrine far out of proportion. Shouldn't they believe in forgiving and forgetting and all that? Well, I have news for them. Praying never put food in my mouth, nor anyone else's.
You're kind of a dick, but you're right.
Yes, I'm completely free. Aren't you proud of me too?
Now, as usual, Patches is a very nice merchant to have around. Sells half moon grass, or pretty much all the better grasses. Spice, archstone, heavy bolt, heavy arrow, fragrant ring. Fragrant ring, a nobleman's ring, filled with spice, slowly recovers MP over time. An extremely rare and delicate piece of handiwork. 60k souls. And then some barbarian clothes from the deprived class, which Gravefather Blige also had. Let's just buy some of these.
Nice stuff, eh? Come again then. I'll be awaiting.
I just love the way he says that. The cadence in his voice is really fun. Now, let's get started. Upper Latria. Archstone of the Fool's Idol Demon. A church devoted to an idol that mimicked the queen gave the prisoners a ray of hope, but no doubt a deep malice awaited them, poised to mercilessly dash what faint dreams they had. So, the Fool's Idol was a demon crafted by the old monk in the image of the queen that he slayed, the one that had banished him away from Latria, and he of course came back in his strange yellow garb with demons in tow and essentially just ransacked the place and took over. And as you recall, we were taken all the way up this tower by a set of gargoyles. How it works is the Fool's Idol was essentially their goddess, and the prisoners were given false hope in their prison, and eventually they'd be chosen for forgiveness, big air quotes there, and were taken up here by the gargoyles, where they believed they were being set free. But in truth, the old monk was using them and their flesh as a new canvas, a new material to create horrible abominations, which we will meet in this level. And we actually met some downstairs, the large corpse ball and the mind flayers. I really love the look of this place. The architecture is cool. Got these really neat braziers everywhere. And of course, 1,000 years ago, superstition and sword ruled. It was a world of darkness. It was a time of darkness, it was a world of fear, it was the age of gargoyles. And, these gargoyles, every single time you kill one, they guaranteed drop an unknown warrior's soul. Which, given the presence of the specific corpses we have in all around Latria, there's 3 major types. There's the sorcerers, many of them having this fresh spice and whatnot. The knights, which there's many of, and whose armor I'm wearing. And then there's also the prisoners, of course. And I'm sure in time the formers became the latter. But I like to believe personally that given what we see, the gargoyles were the knights that protected Latria in service to the queen. And when the old monk came in and took over the place, he turned the knights into the gargoyles by placing their souls, and now they still watch over and guard the place, but in his own twisted vision for it. Rather, as knights sworn to honor and duty, they are now magical slaves of his. They are now literally part of the tower that they called home and protected with their lives. Oop. Because there's night corpses all over. Even though this is a place dedicated to magic, it seems those trained in the sword were still quite numerous here. And I also like to think the mind flayers were sort of sorcerers and magicians that he turned into different beasts as well. And the gargoyles come in 2 types. Either with sword or with crossbow. And if we're lucky, we can, they will drop their weapons. They're somewhat rare drops, however. Black Bolt and Unknown Hero Soul. I don't think we've gotten a Black Bolt yet, so... A very short black iron bolt. It pierces it deep into targets, dealing extensive damage. To fire bolts, crossbow must be equipped, yada yada yada. Let's send some of this stuff to storage. Can't go in here. But you can hear a lot of horrible voices going off. Now, as we... Ugh, great. Internet's doing its thing again. Hold on. Alright, LAN cable unplugged, so... Let's see. 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 Shouldn't be seeing that message keep popping on and off again. Just the internet service getting a little bit spotty at this time of night. I mean, it's not even consistent, it's weird. Anyhow, as we ascend the tower, we'll be able to witness the centerpiece of Upper Latria. The horde creation of the old monk. Presenting the old monk's heart. An absolutely gigantic, twisted abomination made from countless prisoners and their flesh ripped from them, stitched and reforged and folded, molded like clay into this absolutely disgusting, just gargantuan organ. It takes its giant roots like veins and pumps blood from the swamp down below in order to keep itself beating. It is so heavy that it would be crushed under its own weight if it were not being held aloft by all these gigantic ropes and absolutely massive chains. Truly is quite the visceral horror. And a point where I really have to give Blue Point some even more extra props in that this is not going to come across well at all in video or in audio form, but use the DualSense controller. The vibrations that they managed to give it when you're near this thing actually feel like blood is being pumped through the controller in your hands. The rumble is tuned so perfectly that it feels like blood is coming from the bottom and pushing through the top before exiting. And it is really, really well done, and is something I really appreciate and one of my favorite uses of the DualSense in this game. And pretty much so far, it's just so well done. A lot of games use it really well, but I don't know, just the way this contributes to the atmosphere as an extra layer is really cool. Now, there's an item right there, and it is not quite easy to get because you need to fall and land on that ledge down there. And 90% of the time, you're gonna fall right off. But I've developed a relatively foolproof method for dealing with this. Now, there's a bunch of YouTube tutorials that I tried when my initial save file for when this PS5 version came out, but I personally found the best way to get to this is to try to line your feet up with this corpse and your head with that brazier over there. You gotta do this just perfectly, or at least perfect enough, and then walk slowly forward. Hopefully I don't die. There we go. Phew. And you barely land on the edge there. Most YouTube tutorials are to do a back hop from a certain position or roll off from a certain position, and it's not consistent. But I've done that right there multiple times, and it is significantly more consistent, and I die far less, and it feels like that was the intended method all along. Whatever works for you, but that one is definitely works for me, like every single time. And while we're at it, let's take a look at those weapons. Rune Sword, These are the sword and shield carried by Ostrava as well. A gold sword with an intricate design. Its physical attack is negligible, but is fortified with an arcane force, protecting its wielder from magic attacks. The weapon of a great hero of legend, who also wielded the matching rune shield. Rune shield. A golden shield graced with an exquisite design, fortified with an arcane force, protecting its wielder from magic attacks. A weapon of a great hero of legend, who also wielded the matching rune sword. Actually, should send those to storage, along with... Is there stuff I'm not gonna use? And back up the tower we go. Now that way is blocked off and we cannot go. So we will continue on this way. For variety's sake, let's switch to Claymore. Come on. Oh, I forgot. I have to take off my helmet. Well, doing this in order to keep my roll. Flamberge. A unique large sword with a rippled blade. Named for its flame-like appearance, this blade is designed to rend flesh and cause severe bleeding. Thus, it holds a grim reputation for inflicting fatal wounds. Very cool to look at, not used often or very practical in real life. Now, I want to take a second to talk about the design of the gargoyles in this remake. In the original, they didn't quite look like stone. I know that they were intended to be, but they looked like they were just a black material with white lines over it, and they kind of always reminded me of black licorice. Here, they look more intricately designed and actually look like they're made out of like granite or something like that. Or igneous, whatever marble, not really marble, I don't know. Either way, they look more like actual stone, and I really appreciate their redesign. They got these neat little faces that look like they were carved with a lot of care, and in order to be placed on the walls and lampposts and all that. And I also appreciate that they fall apart when they die. There's a lot of really nice details. I like the wings having like these sort of carved in fur and claws on their wingtips. They just look like an actual gargoyle. It's really nice. Now, as nice as this remake is, it's still pretty much a PS3 game underneath. And the pathing on the gargoyles is still bad. They can fly, but they don't quite seem to know how to do it most of the time, it feels like. It's kind of goofy that way. Come on. Whatever.